gentlemen, I'm gonna put the show back in chauvinism.
Bobby's a clown. This whole thing's an act for him.
Business, sports, you name it. At the very top, it's a man's world.
It's when we want a little bit of what you've got. That's what you can't stand.
40 million people are watching.
The battle you've all been waiting to see.
I'm done talking. Let's play.
The battle of the sexes.
Hey guys, Jacob here from Take 3 Productions coming to you with a review of Battle of the Sexes. Now, this film was directed by Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Faris, the guys who also directed Little Miss Sunshine, and was written by Simon Bayfew, who is the Academy Award winning screenwriter of Slumdog Millionaire. So, I was coming into this film with quite a bit of expectations. It's about the 1973 tennis match known as the Battle of the Sexes between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. Now, Emma Stone plays Billie Jean King and Steve Carell plays Bobby Riggs. This is a really good film. There are strong elements to it. One of the big issues in the film is the direction, but I will get to that later. Let's just start with things that really worked well, and that is, of course, the performances. Both of these actors give fantastic and incredibly well-rounded performance. Emma Stone stands out as Billie Jean King. She is a woman where you see her power. She has this love of tennis and absolute adoration towards tennis, and she is able to convince the audience that what she is standing for is she has conviction, and she's not standing for something and she can't back it up, if you understanding what I'm trying to say. She believes she deserves respect, and we, the audience, believe, yes, she has earned that respect. That's something that isn't done a lot in performances, and to be able to see that in the character, I thought she really played that well. You also get a lot of the heartache that comes behind the eyes of her character, because she is a conflicted woman when it comes to her relationships and when it comes to where she is in life and who she is. But then she also has to be someone who is looked up to and adored by the tennis community, and it's all resting on her. And you see the struggle in Emma Stone's performance, and it is a fantastic performance. But to me, my money, Steve Carell, he gives his, I reckon this is his best performance outside of Foxcatcher, and he is fantastic in this. And it's sad because it is going to be overlooked when it comes to Oscar season, just because the movie surrounding this performance isn't that strong. Steve Carell is able to bring his comedic chops to the role when he Bobby is being the showboat and the one who is, look at me, look at me, look at me. And he is able to do that incredibly well. What impressed me the most is the quiet moments when he is in an office by himself, when he is talking with his wife, when you can see the pain of where he is in life behind his eyes. He is a celebrity who has trying to regain that celebrity and that adoration. He is an addict that isn't able to admit that he's an addict. He goes to an gambling addicts meeting and instead tries to convince everyone to gamble because he can't admit he is a gambler because he never loses. We see that he is an incredibly lucky gambler, that he doesn't lose, that he is able to back up his bets. He is a hustler, and that we are able to see the pain behind his eyes in several scenes that I just think were fantastic. And I hope he is recognized for that come Oscar season, but at the moment he is my front runner. I don't think he will be nominated simply because the movie surrounding him isn't that great, but he is someone who I would really look for come Oscar season. Another really fantastic element of this film is the production design. This is a 70s movie, and you feel the 70s in this film, and it is fantastic. The hairstyles, the mood, the atmosphere, the look, everything about it is just 70s, and they really capture it. And I thought they did an incredible job at capturing that, and it was just really fun to look at. Now, some issues that I do have with this film: the direction is very flat. It's not... They aren't able to bring the tension that is required, especially in that final match. You go into it, even though it's based on a real story, and even though it's based on arguably one of the most famous tennis matches of all time, I should be able to go in going, I won't know the result. And I should be level on that level of anticipation, like, oh my god, what is going to happen? And instead, I'm sitting there going, you aren't giving me the tension that this scene requires. And they actually ignore what happened in real life and don't enhance it. So when you ignore something that happened in real life, you are doing that to enhance tension. And instead, this film doesn't actually enhance any of the tension at all, and instead deflates it, and we're left with a tennis match that isn't really that exciting. And I don't get excited when a point is scored, or something happens that is really exciting. You don't, because there's no tension in the match. Another big problem, this also stems to the screenplay. The screenplay is a little flat, and kind of, this isn't a movie about the Battle of the Sexes. The Battle of the Sexes doesn't start until about halfway through. It's more of a character study on Billie Jean, and it doesn't quite nail the character study. There's not much that I can tell you outside of, she was a tennis player who goes through some relationship changes, and that gets into spoiler territory, and I don't really want to get into that. I mean, it's not really a spoiler if you know who the human being is, but it gets into spoiler territory. I don't think the film did a good enough job of illustrating it, and of illustrating the pain that she is going through. There's a great scene where her husband says to someone, her number one love is tennis. And I never got that. I never felt as though tennis was her number one love, that everything she is doing is for tennis. And that is a bit of an issue with the film, and it does hurt it in my eyes that I never was able to just absolutely fall in love with both of these characters. They were played fantastically, but the characters themselves just aren't as three-dimensional as I would have liked. But that said, I did enjoy the film. I would give Battle of the Sexes 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think it is a entertaining, passable, good crowd-pleasing movie. It's just, it's a shame because it could have been a real contender come Oscar season. If this was done by someone who, if the directors were a little more experienced in sports making, in making a sports drama, they probably would have been able to really do this one really well. But unfortunately, it screamed inexperience and just not quite sure how to do tension. But guys, comment below. Let me know. What did you guys think about this review? What did you guys think of Battle of the Sexes? What's your favorite Steve Carell performance? Let's go with that one, hey? Comment below your favorite Steve Carell performance, movie, anything. Personally, I'm a real sucker for The Big Short. I absolutely love The Big Short. But, guys, make sure you subscribe to Take 3 Productions. We have an incredible lineup of things coming up in the future, including our Reactors Summits, our Schmodown reactions. We're also doing a charity event come November, so make sure you check that one out for all 9 Star Wars films. Make sure you check it out, guys. But until then, I'm Jacob Blunden. Take care.